changed quite a lot in the last few years. I think I've come through a bad time. I came through the post-operative period of a year where I would have happily, and I don't want to get you into trouble, but I would have happily topped myself.
So Thursday, for all our viewers out there, who are you?
That's a very who am I? That's the age-old
yes
question, isn't it? You know, what's the meaning of the universe? 42, I think, is the answer. But yeah, I'm Andy Wright, and I have cerebral palsy from birth. I was okay. I'm just thinking about this in the toilet just now. What am I going to say? And I came up with the idea that I was up until the age, well, up until 2012, 2013, I was okay. I could cope. I was walking around, I know, apart from cerebral palsy itself, I had no real problems. I was able to cope, traveling around, doing stuff. Obviously, longer distances, I had a mobility scooter, but I didn't use it that often, not really, not compared to now. And then 2013, my back, I really went downhill. I had major surgery on my back, and let's just say it did not go very well. And it was a bit of a problem because they left me worse off than I was even before the back pain. I mean, the back pain was really severe. I could hardly walk, and afterwards couldn't walk at all. So that was even better, wasn't it? Anyway, left me in a bad way. And I've been looking around. Obviously, my job has changed sort of about 2005-ish, somewhere around there. I got out of IT. I left IT and I went into working for the Shaw Trust. Shaw Trust is a national charity helping disabled people, and I was there as an employment advisor. No experience, mate, no experience. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. But he said to me, these are ex-drug users, get them a job. And I thought, okay, there's a challenge. And I did that for 5 years, and to not blow my own trumpet, but I was actually the best at the team. I had the most people in work at the end of 5 years. And then, of course, we all got sacked. End of contract, DWP contract. So we all left, and I moved into self-employment because that was the only option I had. And there's no way I was going to get a job anywhere else and go back into IT. There was no way I was going to do that. Anyway, so I went self-employed teaching Qigong and Tai Chi and exercise and that sort of thing for the elderly, mainly, and the less able.
Yeah.
And I built up my business. I built up from 2009 all the way up to my back surgery when everything went peak tong. And I still continued, but it was extremely tough to continue. Anyway, sort of roll on a little bit, and then of course we had COVID shut down.
The wonderful COVID.
Business. Yeah, it killed my business. I lost everything. And during the period, obviously 2016, well, just before that, 2015, I decided that I would like to use the money I saved from my self-employment, and I saved a hell of a lot of money, to find a partner. And this is a very, very long story, I know, but I decided to travel the world and find a partner. Anyway, I ended up in Thailand, as you do, and I met my future wife. I went through an agency, so I didn't just walk down the street. Actually went through a proper agency, and they knew my limitations, and the lady who I met knew my limitations. I actually went there with a rollator. I couldn't walk, obviously with my back and everything. So I had a rollator, and I went to Thailand for the very first time. Met my future wife, and a year later we got married. And I regret every minute. No, I don't. No, I don't.
You're getting straggled after this.
You can delete that bit.
No, we'll leave
No.
it in.
We've just celebrated our 10th anniversary, 10th
Brilliant.
wedding anniversary, just recently. And again, that's another story. I injured myself.
The thing is, like, you come across there and you tell your story, and like myself, like myself, I worked and I'd done what I could to stay in employment.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of disabled people, it is a struggle to get into work because we are held back. There's a lot of jobs that physically can't do.
Yeah.
But I think there's always something, if you put your mindset and you're determined and you want a bit more, it's always worth, I feel it's always worth doing something for yourself, just mentally. I think it gives you so much more. You're not just your disability, and that's one of the things I want to get across to people. We are spectacular. It's like yourself, spectacular in what you do.
Yeah.
You've done everything, and you've overcome so much, but you still keep going, and you just don't shut your barriers down by the sounds of it, and you just embrace life. It feels.
Well, I'll tell you, a long time ago, age 25, age 23, I think 23 or 24, I got beat up and basically dragged from my car. I was in my car, in a car park. Just this random drunk decided I was it, and gave me a good kicking and whatever.
Jeez.
So a year later, I was talking to my cousin who came over from Australia, and he said, "You need to do karate." I went, "You're joking, mate. I can't do karate." And he said, "No, you can." And I did. And in sort of 3 or 4 years of training every week, nearly 5 times a week, I was out in the training hall. I got my black belt. So I was very chuffed about that. And then, of course, as I am, me, being me, I thought, I could teach this. And I did. I opened up my own club, and I ran a club for about 20 years. Yeah. So I am highly qualified. I actually have a 7th Dan, which is very rare. It's very rare for able-bodied people, let alone anybody else with a disability. They don't give them out to everybody. And I'm very lucky to be able to say, after 25, 30 years of training, obviously a little bit less since my back surgery, but I still look into it and do my best. But my focus has always been on Qigong and Tai Chi. So, I mean, I've done everything, as you say, not quite everything. I have a few places I would like to go and visit, and a few more things that I want to do. It's quite shocking, really. Really, this country is so big, the UK, and I haven't seen any of it. Not really.
Because it's all uphill.
It's all uphill.
It is. Everywhere's uphill. As soon as you head north, it's just hills.
Oh, I've been up to York, and I loved York. I thought that was a lovely city.
It is.
I got friends up in Durham and around
Yeah, I'm
Newcastle.
not far from Durham. I'm in Newcastle.
Yeah, way man. I've got the longest supporter of my channel comes from Newcastle area. So, I have a loyal fan base, put it that way, but it's only a small fan base.
Yeah.
I can't live off of it, which was my original idea.
Yeah.
Was to make an income from it. But I found that a long time ago there are a lot of haters, and they can kill you. They can, I mean, not literally kill you. Well, actually, no, that's a lie, because I've had death threats. So I've had everything.
But you're a lethal weapon. You're a trained machine.
Fowle also said you're heavy into martial arts, Tai Chi and all that killer stuff.
I suppose we have to register you as a lethal weapon.
Hey, look, friend, let's just cut the shit. Now,
Which is why they wouldn't do anything anyway. I mean, they're all these trolls. But yeah, they killed my travel channel in the beginning. I started my travel channel obviously when I went to Thailand, 2015-16, and I thought this would be a brilliant idea for disabled people to see what it's like to travel. So I started that channel, Andy Wright Travel, and they killed it by trolling. And it's still got like 3,000 subscribers 10 years later. It should really be 30,000 plus the way that it's done, but it's not going to go anywhere. And it was shortly after that, and I thought, nah, this is no good. I need something else. I need another. So of course I started Talking Really Channel, which was only for disability stuff, and obviously benefits and social sort of interaction, anything to do with that, nothing to do with travel.
Yeah, I think I'm waiting for the trolls.
Oh God!
I just think I'd probably have them more upset than they'd have me.
Well, you're probably going to get them now. You got me on.
Let them come. At least they're watching. It's always a view.
Exactly the point.
So any trolls out there, you want to come and abuse us? You know, staying alive.
Come now.
Yeah,
he's waiting for you.
Yeah.
I have a little story about that. I had a guest on. She was a lady with various disabilities, and it was a new channel. Which is why I'm feeling really bad for you, because I'm on here. She came on as a guest. Anyway, she got so much fucking stick. Oh, excuse me.
That's so all right. Don't worry. I don't care. That's what it's about. This is what I tell everyone. Be you. Just be you.
She got really slated, and I really felt sorry for her. But when I look at her now, she's way ahead. You know, she's like 100,000 subscribers. And I'm thinking, bloody hell, I was there at the beginning. I got nothing.
She's not had your back.
No.
If I get there, I'll bring you along for the journey, mate.
Oh,
I'll have
cheers,
your back.
mate. Oh, kind.
You know, you're a very, very interesting man. So, obviously, you've said you've had this from birth. So we can skip on that one. So, what part of your identity you think has grown since the diagnosis of your disability? So, what do you think? Because you've had to adapt, and you know this is all your life. What do you think that done to yourself, to you, and how you've seen life?
As a kid, I really didn't understand what it was. But one thing I did know was that I got fed up of people telling me, "You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't walk. You won't walk. You won't do this. You won't do that. Blah blah blah." And I'm just a sort of person that says, "Why? I can, and I will." You know, that's what happened with the martial arts. I had loads of haters there, and they were like other instructors in the area, and they were saying, "Well, you're never going to get a black belt. You're never going to get this, that, and the other." And I did. I thought, no, sod you. I'm going to do it anyway. Even the doctors said when I was very young, because I had a wheelchair up until about the age of 8, and I thought, what the hell am I doing in this wheelchair? Let's get up. Let's walk. And I was determined to walk. And then from then, I didn't use my chair, not very often. But the doctor said, "You'll never walk." Up yours, mate. I can. Yeah. And I did. You know.
Yeah.
And then age 17, I went with my mum. Took me down to the job centre because I had to get a job. And he said to me, well, he said to my mum. He didn't say to me. He said, "You want to take him home and just let him claim benefits?" I thought, Jesus Christ, that's no way to live your life. Yeah. I said, "No, I want a job."
Gives a job. Go on, gives it. Gives a go on. I could do that. You don't have to walk straight, I can walk straight.
Anyway, I got a little job for about a year, and that was it. And then, because it was Maggie Thatcher, and everybody was unemployed for 8 years. So I had a period of time, 8 years, where I wasn't working. But I was, because I was doing discos. Here we go, mobile discos.
Because back in the Thatcher days, all you had was drink to get you through it.
Yeah, Yeah, and age sort of, I don't know, how old, I mean 20, 23, 24, something like that. I got this this sort of training course job. It was in a computer company, and I actually went for the interview, and I thought, I'm going to get this job. It's a computer programmer, and they need to train you. So I thought, hey, I know how to use a computer. I've been using my little home computer, playing games and programming. I can do this job, no problem. Anyway, got turned down. I got turned down for this other young lad, able lad, and me, obviously disabled. Yeah, and they turned me down. I didn't know why. I thought, you bunch of tossers, I could do that job. So anyway, what happened was a training thing came up in the job centre, and they said, if you find somewhere that will take you, we'll pay you the allowance, which was like £40 a week or something like that.
Yeah.
So I said, I contacted them and I said, look, here's an employer, get me in there. And it was the employer that turned me down. And I'm telling you this because there is an end to the story, because it's quite funny, really. And I was there, I started, and this other guy that they were paying him a good salary to learn. I was teaching him. And I was learning it, right? I knew nothing about this. I was learning it and teaching him at the same time. Anyway, in the end, I thought, what the hell am I doing here? I'm not getting paid. I'm getting paid £40 a week by the government to be here to teach this guy who got my job.
Yeah.
I said, right, I'm going to look around for another job. Anyway, I got this interview with another. It was actually Avon Tyres. Avon Tyres make tyres, and it was computer programming. And I thought, wow, this is just brilliant. So I applied, and they gave me the job. I thought, oh, this is brilliant. I went into the boss and the other job. I said, look, sorry, I'm leaving. I've got a real job. Bye-bye. And he wasn't very happy about it because obviously he realised that he'd made a mistake.
Yeah.
And anyway, a few weeks later, I think it was about a month later, and I was in this job. I was loving it. Programming, they loved you. I was learning how to program on a IBM computer. So just basic programming, and I was enjoying myself. I had a really good colleague. He was a lovely chap, and I had a phone call and a knock on my door at my house. Oh, hello. It was the guy from the other firm. Come around and said, oh, I'm really sorry to bother you, but this guy's not worked out. Are you interested in coming back to work for us? I'll give you one guess what the answer was.
Exactly. But back then there wasn't an Equality Act, was it? I think it came around in
that's right.
2010. 10, yeah.
Well, the first one.
The first one now, now it's the Equality and Thingy Act of 2018 or something. Yeah, but we hadn't. And the thing is, you had to put on your job applications back then if you had anything wrong with you.
Yeah.
And
but they knew, but they could see in the interview. And I mean, it's their own fault. I mean, I took great pride in saying no because I thought, as you would, because I mean, I really couldn't see myself working there anyway. But it was good money, and it was a good job. Programming jobs in the 80s, 90s, well worth having. And I stayed in that job programming 5 years. I was working for them. And then I looked around, I thought I got a bit bored, after 5 years, got a little bit bored. I thought, what jobs can I do? Oh, here's a job. I'll go and work myself and the local council, IT. So I did that. I did part-time myself in my own website design and various other things. And I was working for the council in IT, training courses, and like that. Did that for 5 years, and I got bored with that. I thought, there's got to be more to life, and there was. I went for a field service job, so working for Dell HP, Compaq, and all of the other, computer companies as a field engineer. So they give you a car, and I thought, oh, this is brilliant, a brand new car, fantastic. Oh, I love it. Anyway, I went for the interview. The guy was lovely. He gave me the job, and the first day of work was in Bristol. All the people that they took on that day were there. I was there, and I was halfway through the day. I got called into the office with the big boss. I thought, this is a bit weird. Why am I going in to see the big boss? Maybe they got a promotion already. I haven't done anything yet, but maybe they know my reputation. Anyway, they said, oh, no, we're a bit concerned about you and your ability to move computer equipment around, like big monitors. And in them days, they were big. They were heavy. Yeah, I mean, they were just like huge. He said, we're a bit concerned. I said, but you've taken me on. What am I supposed to do? Anyway, I went and got legal advice, and they in the end, they backed down. But it was a very worrying time because I could have ended up with no job.
Yeah, and that's the shit side of anything. And, we're lucky we get reasonable adjustments and stuff now like that now, but because I think I started employment around in the early 90s when I was ready for employment. Obviously, before that was just like part-time jobs and because a lot of adults. So you were before that, and you were at the really shit end of the stick. Yeah. When it come to being treated badly, but it just shows the strength of your character. Like, all these jobs you've done, everything you went on to do. You've not let what a lot of, and like you said, the doctor said, you go on benefits. No one wants to ever hear that shit. Do you know what I mean? It's like as if you're absolutely worthless and just lock yourself in the house.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was my parents, and especially my mum, who was the pusher of that, because she said, you're not sitting around the house all day doing nothing. Get out and get a job, you lazy bastard. It's like, okay, mum, okay.
Exactly.
I'm off. Yeah, I mean, even when it was 8 years unemployment, I mean, that was a terrible time. But even so, I was doing mobile discos, I was trying to find something to do.
But I bet the same mum, up until the age of 12, wrapped you up in cotton wool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, to be fair, they did me very well. I mean, they were they were teaching me how to read and write from a very early age, how to walk and sort of move around and things like this. So they were, I mean, especially my dad. I mean, both of them are now not with us, but I can remember that quite well. He was a big thing about getting me more able, as it were, even though I would never be fully able. He was out there pushing for me to improve myself. Yeah.
So, what's something your illness has taught you that no one else could ever have?
That's an interesting one.
It is.
How long you got? I don't know. I think I've changed quite a lot in the last few years. I think I've come through a bad time. I came through the post-operative period of a year where I would have happily, and I don't want to get you into trouble, but I would have happily topped myself.
No, that's
all I can say.
This is what I want, this type of raw truth, because people are hiding indoors with our illnesses and probably feeling that way and think there's no other way out. I've lost friends to suicide and they didn't open up to us, and it's horrible. Yeah. And it's horrible to have to go in and see the mums and stuff and know I'm robbed of that person for the rest of my life. It's shit.
That's right. I just think that because of the way I am and the way I was, I'm thinking that it was a point where I just turned around and said, what the hell am I doing with myself? And I went out there and I got help. I didn't have any sort of good friends at the time around the area because obviously, able people didn't really want to get to know anybody who was disabled. And that, because I'd been to boarding school away from the area. There was nobody here I went to school with. And all my friends were way around the country. So really there was nobody to talk to. So I sought help, got help from the medical profession, luckily, and it did help. I got through it, and the realization of not being able to function properly was enough for me to say, I need to get off my fat arse and get back into it and make myself do it. And with the Tai Chi and all of that, that really helped me, because I was able to use my knowledge, and I spent a year rehabbing myself. Didn't have any help from anybody. There was no help out there. You know, the physios would go, "Oh, well, do a few exercises and you'll be okay." You know, rubbish. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And as you're saying, the mental health, the wait list is just through the roof.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
you know,
not so much then.
yeah, and there's another thing, it's men, isn't it?
Yes.
Men tend to keep it inside. They feel you need to be masculine,
Yeah.
you need to be strong, and I think when you have a disability, you sometimes you feel you need to be more masculine. I find that I need to take on this extra strength because I feel already weak enough at times.
So,
but that, you know, being able to overcome that, like you did, it's fantastic, and it shows anybody who may be listening to this that there is light at the end of that tunnel, but it's not going to be an easy road. It's all, is it?
Not an easy road. No. But I'm lucky. I think I'm lucky in the fact that I am very determined, and I never let anything sort of put me off. I know there are some people who I speak to, and they would say, "Oh, well, I would have given up by then." You know, it's like, you know, you can't give up. There's no way that you can give up.
Yeah.
I think you need to, even when it gets really, really bad, and I can tell you more about that, because, you know, it seems like it comes at me. Is it a life learning lesson? I don't know, but I was obviously involved with martial arts all my life, well, most of my life, and I went into business with one of my students, and we set up this lovely place, this lovely martial arts place, and we were going to run it like 7 days a week, and I would be the teacher and they would be helping me, and we would have customers and things like this coming in. We would do other things as well, like yoga and all that sort of thing. Anyway, a year later, they're ripping me off. They steal everything. They push me aside, and basically I lost everything in 2006. Was that a life lesson that I needed to have? I don't know. It just made me wary of friends. You know,
no one needs that life lesson. Nobody needs that life lesson. Sorry,
because I was
interrupt there. You did,
because I was made bankrupt as well. See,
yeah.
So, you know, it's not good. And it made me realise that I need to be more selective about who I'm not only friends with, but going to business with. And you know, I sort of shy away from anything like that now.
I don't blame you. It's hard. People are we're in a very selfish world at the moment, I think. And everyone's out for themselves in it. There's very few people that are out there that want to give back or offer something back to people for no reason, but just to give back. I struggle with that, because if I had the ability to give to people and help them, I'd do it any chance I can get, from, you know, just pay for a meal, give them a lift, talk to them, just anything. Yeah. Well, you know, society's become so cruel, and I think I don't know if social media has helped it in a way, this self-centeredness.
Yeah, I think that's a video I made today is about that, is giving these idiots a voice, and they're all selfish people. I know that, I really do. I mean, even the channel that I've got, and I'm making videos about what to do and how to get around it and how to sort your problems out. And I'm getting people on there saying, well, that's a load of rubbish because that doesn't work and blah, blah, blah. Very negative, you know. And you wonder why these people mention something opposite to what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, you're the one that's making the video. You've obviously done your research. And they're contradicting you for no reason other than to be annoying.
Because they just sat at a keyboard with nothing better to do that day.
Yeah, exactly.
So, can you share a moment that changed how you saw life or made you laugh when you very least expected it?
Well, everything makes me laugh. Sometimes I have to think that people are just beyond belief as far as, I mean, and there is a movie called Idiocracy, and it's very true. People are just becoming stupid, and I've got to laugh at everything. I just think it just makes me laugh, and then they ask me why I'm laughing. I can't tell them because it's them being idiots.
What the hell is this? Tastes like Gatorade.
Is that Brondo stuff?
They're watering crops with a sports drink?
Brondo the Thirst Mutilator had come to replace water virtually everywhere. Water, the basic component of all life, had been deemed a threat to Brondo's profit margin. The solution came during the budget crisis of 2330, when the Brondo Corporation simply bought the FDA and the FCC, enabling them to say, do, and sell anything they wanted.
But yeah, I don't really know. I think everything is in life. You have to make something from it. I'm very grateful for where I am. I'm very grateful for 10 years marriage. It hasn't been, it's been a rocky road, obviously. And again, there's another whole story there. With that, which we
I'm 30 years in,
for.
it's been an avalanche.
Yeah, everything is just like, tend to try you, I think, or test you in some way. But yeah, I'm just grateful for where I am, and every day is a blessing, I think. I'm just grateful for being here now and being able to offer people help.
Yeah, because tomorrow's not given.
No.
Mm-hmm. Let's have a look at this one. We've covered that you're literally a lethal weapon, so we're not going to use that one. So what's one assumption that gets made about you that couldn't be any further from the truth?
Well, it's that one that people say. I had bosses telling me, what's the word I'm looking for? Obnoxious and angry and obtuse. I still can't think of the word that they actually use, but you get the idea. They think but I'm not. I'm just assertive. That's the word I would use. I don't stand for any messing around. Is what my philosophy is. If you're going to mess me around, then you may as well go away. But these obviously are my bosses, and they're thinking that I'm being very, argumentative or obtuse or that sort of thing. It doesn't really help me much but there again, I do a good job.
It says I don't do stupid. So that's what she looks at these people as when they have this absolutely idiotic point of view, like I don't do stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So who's been your biggest support system, would you say?
Biggest support system?
Yeah.
Is myself.
It's been yourself?
Yeah,
brilliant.
Myself, yeah, no. As I say, I don't stand any messing. I don't like the word no. I especially don't like people telling me no. You can't do that. No. I say why? Yes, I can.
Yeah. If your disability had a voice, what do you think it would say?
Give me a rest.
Same as mine.
I push myself too much, and I came to the realization the other day that I am really, really upset with my body, because I look back to 2012, and that was the cut-off point. 2012, I was in Moscow, walking around Moscow, perfectly able, going around enjoying myself. And then later that year, I went to Ukraine. Not a good subject, but I did. I went looking for a lady, as you do. That was before Thailand, of course, and it was also before my back surgery. So, and I look back then, and I think, comparing that to now, I can't even walk to the bathroom without falling over. It literally is over there.
Yeah. Do you think that's the most brutal truth you've had to accept since your diagnosis?
Yeah, and it's just hard work coping with, like, if you want to go out, yes, I've got a mobility car, but I have to take my scooter in the car. I have to take my rollator from the house to the car. I then have to load it into the car. Obviously, at the other end then is getting it out and then putting it back in and whatever. It doesn't encourage you to go out very much.
No.
Just hard work.
Yeah.
People don't understand it, how hard it is.
And the fact that there's this perception out there, which I've done a video on, is we're free car, that everybody gets this free car, and we can all have Range Rovers and Mercedes Benzes, and it's all paid for by the government. It's like, I had to make a video on that because it was getting annoying. Because these are lifelines, these cars, otherwise you're a prisoner. You are, I believe you've become a prisoner. And
I've had loads of mobility vehicles. I mean, we're going all the way back to the late 80s, when it first started. I can't remember what year it did start, but I was one of the first people to get a car. And then I had a short break where I didn't have one, and I came back onto the scheme. And some of the cars I've had, I've had a convertible, which cost me $4,000 for 3 years. I wish I kept that a little bit longer, but I didn't. I couldn't get into it anymore, so I had to have a bigger car. I've had all sorts of cars, and I mean, it's very, very, very annoying when you have a risk of that car being taken away from you, as in 2013, I think it was, when we went from DLA to PIP.
Yes,
that was a worrying time. That was a really worrying time.
And then it happened again in 2018.
Yes.
And it's happening again now.
And it's happening now. Yeah. I mean, I was all right in 2018, I think, because I was on a long-term, whatever they call it, contract. So indefinite. So I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about DLA because I could see that if I lost my car, I would lose my job, I would lose my independence, I would lose everything. And I even wrote to the MP, and he said to me, oh, well, you just have to wait and see.
God.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I got a better response.
Mind you.
I wrote to Downing Street. Downing Street, I wrote to. I got mine overturned. And got put on life. And I think it's because with the 2018 one, they frauded me medical letter. So the full line of the sentence is Kevin has a normal heart condition from a patent doctor's point of view. So they just put it in, Kevin has a normal heart condition. So they frauded the medical advice. So I think that's how they were like, whoa, we can't be doing this anymore. But yeah, it's frightening, and I'm really worried about a lot of people out there now with this new change.
I think we have to be very careful, though, Kevin, that we're not fear-mongering, because I think there are too many channels out there who are fear-mongering.
Yeah.
Every word is shocking. Oh, it's going to come in, it's shocking. It's not happened yet. let's
Yeah.
wait and see. Let's wait.
Definitely. But one thing I would say is when people are being asked these questions, always remember to answer the question on your worst day. Because not every day is a good day. You've got to be
No.
honest, and you can't say, oh, well, today I feel okay, because they'll take that. No, how bad are you on your worst day and what can you do? Always stick to your worst day. And I think that's
Right.
only advice I give anybody on that.
I'm going to be making a video on this, but I'll tell you something that you ought to do is there's a method that you can contact the DWP and you can get them to send you every piece of document they've got relating to whatever you like. So PIP or whatever, get them to send it you. I've got one. It's like 200 pages. And I've gone through it. I've gone all the way back to the very beginning, and it's like, wow, did I say that? Did I tell them that? Not that it's not true. It's just that I didn't realise how I was in those days. You know, I was like a lot worse. You know?
Yep.
And I'm not saying that I've got better. I'm just saying that what they put down on the paper, wow. That's just like, oh, I never thought about telling them that. Now, it's not in my head. I have to go back and look at the worst day, and obviously that was a long time ago. But that's what you have to tell them. The worst day.
With your illness, do you think there's a myth or a stereotype about people with your illness that you'd love to smash once and for all?
I saw a video on TikTok earlier. Not very good. They're taking a mickey out of CP. They obviously implying that you put somebody in a washing machine and you can do your washing for free. If you get my drift,
Yeah.
because of the involuntary movement of somebody with CP. Not very good, and it gives able-bodied the opportunity then to use that, make a video. I mean, it was a TikTok trend that got banned.
What you need to do is you need to make that video and say, put me in the washing machine, and you're allowed to say it. And then it's funny.
Yeah.
It's not offensive then. And that's the thing, is it? Because if you look at a lot of things, people can't say it, but people with the illnesses can say what they like. They say, come at us.
But then it's just like when you've got the people of black orientation saying the naughty word, they can say it. But we can't say that because we're
my favourite genre of music, gangster rap. I'm singing away in the car and I'm like booking myself.
Dr. Dre and what's his face, I love it.
I love that stuff. I've loved it since the Ice-T days.
I love Eminem. I mean, he's not black, but he obviously doing rap.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
He's
love that.
He's the blackest white guy out there.
Yeah. Yeah, but you just think about it, the challenges that he had when he first started of being accepted by the genre. I mean, that must have been horrific.
It's the Elvis Presley effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he grew up within the black, the shanties and the black neighborhoods and the really impoverished black community, and that's the only music he heard. And people said he's a copyright, he's stylized. Like, when you grow up on this, how can you be stealing it when it's part of you and what's embedded in you? So, what's one superpower you've developed because of your experiences?
What? Sorry, what was the question?
What would you say has been a superpower you've managed to develop because of all your experiences?
Superpower? I would say that more likely I've learnt to be more tolerant, because I still go off on one, but I tend to get very annoyed if somebody says something to me that's offensive. I want to go at them and give them a mouthful, but I've learned not to do that anymore.
Yeah. It doesn't get you anywhere, does it?
It's not worth the effort, and it don't get you anywhere. I don't know. Superpower.
Tolerance is probably a superpower in this day and age.
Yeah, tolerance.
If you could design your perfect accessible world, what do you think it would look like?
Yeah, that's a very challenging question.
Flat. Flat.
You can't think about like the physical aspects,
Yeah.
i.e., no steps, ramps, lifts at work. People that are in the job actually deciding that they're going to ask somebody who is a wheelchair user, because I tell you now, I've been all around the world, and it's the same everywhere. They make a ramp or something, it's not suitable because they've not asked anybody.
Exactly. I definitely believe that. You look around, and I did a video the other day about an adventure park I went to, and it's the only adventure park I've been to over all my years that it had an accessible seesaw for disabled wheelchairs. It had accessible ramps everywhere on the climbing frames and stuff. It had braille and everything, and I had to make a video just to see how good this place was for accessibility. I was like, because you don't really get that often. What song or movie quote do you turn to if you need a lift?
Song or movie quote?
Yeah.
I don't really. I've got favourite movies and things like that, but I don't. And because of my DJing, I like all music. So there's no, maybe I like 80s and 90s music, but there's nothing really special about any of it, I suppose. And I don't really have any sort of quotes or anything. So
any song that picks you up, that the one song that you hear it and you just feel better for 10 minutes?
I suppose anything that is in the genre that I like.
Yeah.
Could be any song, I don't know. I used to have, because I was married for 16 years, I suppose, that I'll Do It For You song, which was in the summer of 91, whatever it was.
Bryan Adams. Is it Bryan Adams? Yeah,
I used to love that.
Yeah, it was when he played Robin Hood.
Yes.
The Robin Hood movie, with Kevin Costner.
Because that was our wedding.
I'm not singing it.
No,
I'd
don't
kill
sing
it if I sang it.
No. The cats are coming. I can see the cat on the windowsill.
One on mine as well. What do you wish people would ask you more often? Do you want some money?
Good one, I like that, yeah. I don't know. What do you ask me? I don't know. For advice and guidance, I suppose, because I suppose I'm underestimated. I'm blowing my own trumpet, but I've got a lot of knowledge that nobody wants.
That's what my wife says.
And even when I tell them it, they don't believe it.
Yeah.
I told somebody the other day about Thailand banking thing that's coming in, and they just would not believe me that it was coming in.
Yeah.
And then I went down the bank and found out, oops, he's right. So yeah, they don't listen.
You don't.
No.
So you've been on YouTube quite a while, so people have been watching you for some years now. What's one thing people might not know about you?
I don't tell people a lot. So this interview actually is pretty much the first interview ever that I've ever said a lot of stuff about myself.
Thank you for that.
No, I appreciate your coming to me. Basically, because I don't want people to know.
No, you don't have
me.
to answer. That's the thing. Any question you don't want to answer, don't answer.
No.
But,
No, the point is, I'm just saying, I made that choice. I'd rather be about the information I'm giving.
Yeah.
If people say, well, what's your opinion on whatever? I'm not going to give you my opinion on that because it's nothing to do with me. It's more about what's in the news.
Mhm.
And I can mention the Russia thing and Trump and all of that. And people go, well, who do you, and even Reform, right? Reform
Yeah.
UK, they all go, well, who do you support? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? No, it's not about what I think. I'm here to
Yeah.
deliver a video.
You
That's
might as
it.
well. You might as well climb up from the pit and be shot if you start giving opinions.
Yeah,
Because everyone will use it against you. And I've always said there's two sides to every opinion. I like what one person says, and I like what the other person says.
yeah,
You know, so some have a good point and some have bad points, but we can't control the narrative. So
No.
I just go, yeah. That's why I'm trying to stay as far from politics. The only politics I want to talk about is anything that affects disability, because at least I can get some sort of knowledge around that and I can understand it. But beyond the rest,
yeah.
I'm not waiting for the sniper.
No. And I tell you what, if you carry on with this aspect, I was thinking about that earlier, that if you carry on with this sort of genre, interviewing people who are prominent in disability activism or things like that, or make videos about disability, I think you've got a good channel. I think if you carry on with that and focus on that aspect of it, I think you're going to go a long way.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that, because like I say, this is about everybody else's journey. And I want, because we all see awards for actors and footballers and everything else, but where's the real heroes? The ones who didn't ask for any of this shit, but we've been handed it, and we kept getting kicked and dragged along, and we're being used as a target politically, financially. And like, I don't know if you've watched many videos, but at one point I made in one of the videos is disability people who can't go to work are most financially burdened people in society who won't have much in life, but and they're going to struggle. But they think we just all want to sit around. And in the video I said, the ones who want disability who can work are the ones who are fiddling it. I had to make that point. No one with a real disability is out there scrapping stuff or working for the friends, cash in hand. They're in the house and they're literally stuck, and they'd love to be able to get up and get out. And I think that's why we need voices of real people like yourself in your stories, because your story's uplifting. So it means someone else might say, I've got an idea, I might try and follow Andy's idea of doing something for myself from home. And the thing is, you are allowed, everybody out there, on ESA or any disability check, you can earn a certain amount of income, passive income on the side. Just if you want to start a business.
I will tell you, it's very interesting that, because I've just made a video about it. But as you
check out Andy's video,
say,
he's going to give you it now. Come on, Andy, plug the video. It's coming soon.
Is about why people are focusing on PIP as being something that people are scrounging about and getting loads of money for, when ESA, you get your money and you can do 16 hours a week and earn £500 a month. They're not mentioning that, are they? They're not mentioning ripping in the money, coming in the money there, because they don't know about it. But you can legally, £500 plus a month extra on top of your basic. Obviously, you've got to work, but you could work self-employed.
Yeah, give yourself a bit more in your pocket. And if your business grows, tell them your business has grown. Don't have to adjust it. And eventually you might be able to support yourself and go bigger and further. Don't hold yourself back.
Exactly. Because there's no real earning limit on how much. But obviously, if you were earning a lot of money from your self-employment, from your 16 hours a week, they would probably look at that and go, you don't really need it anymore.
Yes.
But you can earn legally, you can earn £500 a week, £500 a month extra.
And as long as you inform these people, you're not going to be prosecuted, you're not going to go to jail, you're not going to get fined. You just tell them this is your income, it's now increased this month. They'll decide if you get it or you don't. And then if you can afford to financially carry on doing it without them, it's a win for you out there, everyone. So, so Andy, come on, right. Pick a song that would represent your life. Come on. Come on, Andy.
Oh, come on.
Limp Bizkit, rolling.
I'm sure there is a song somewhere, but I have trouble with my memory lately. It's like, I find remembering stuff is challenging. So I can't think specifically of anything at the moment, but perhaps
What
if
genre
I
would it be then?
had noticed. Well, as I say, I like 80s, 90s, and Eminem type music, disco music, all of that. But I do like things like the Eagles and ELO, and New Seekers and all the other ones that are in that era.
ELO were fantastic in the time.
Yeah. And they're still
Eagles
going.
were mint. Was it Eagles? Love Me, Lift Me Up. Was that the Eagles?
Fantastic songs.
Yeah.
Eagles, Hotel California.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, all these songs.
These kids need to go back and listen. My son, he loves all genres of music. His playlist when you get in the car, he's nearly 30. He's like sitting on the dock of Beerwater, it's Redding, right through to Elvis to Johnny Cash, all the way up to Screamo. He's and all my kids are the same because we just played everything. I think music's just such an important thing in life. It really does. It brings back some of the greatest moments of your life as well that you didn't even think of till you were sat and you heard that song again.
I suppose, there probably is a song, but I just try and think of it at the moment. There's too many songs that I like, and genres as well. I think my DJing years have made me appreciate all things. So I can't really say I don't like him much.
So we're on the last probably 2 questions.
Right.
So if they made a movie about your life, who do you want to play you? And come on, give her a good title.
Oh God!
Don't say Stephen Hawking.
Again, you're putting me. No, he's not with us anymore.
He's not alive.
Not with us anymore. Again, you're putting me on the spot with the old memory. I don't know. Who would I like to play me? I could play myself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, play myself. Because I don't think anybody else could play me. I don't think anybody else would have the gumption. And that's not being big-headed or anything. That's just people that understand. I think actors, it's like when they get a movie and they've got some able-bodied actor playing a disabled person. What's that about?
Yeah, but then they complain when a straight person plays a gay one, but so they change that role.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Don't like no or something like that, or don't tell me no.
Don't Tell Me No is a good title.
Yeah, Don't Tell Me No.
Don't Tell Me No, starring Andy Wright.
Andy Wright.
Wheeling into the cinemas this summer.
I hope so.
So last one, and this one's probably the impossible question.
Oh God!
for yourself, because you don't know any different. What would your dream day look like without limitations?
That is a good question. Even as a kid, I've never really thought to myself, "Oh, I'm going to be able-bodied." I've seen other kids running around, like when I was in school, boarding school, in Scouts, Cub Scouts, things like that, running around having fun, and me thinking, "Oh, I wish I could do that." And then, obviously, me saying, "Oh, let me get up and do it and try." Yeah, so I've done all that. Difficult, yeah. I don't really know, but I've not really any experience of not being this way. So it would be impossible for me to say what I would be doing. I don't think I would be doing this, what I've done over my life.
Crap with me.
Probably in jail or something like that. Yeah, probably.
That would be your dream day, spend a day in jail.
Yeah.
That'll be a good short.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, to sort of guess.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Andy, for sharing your story, your spirit, your truth with us today. These are the conversations that stay with you, the kind that reminds us it isn't just about what you endure, it's how we rise, how we connect, and how we still find and spread joy and happiness. So again, I'd love to thank you so much for coming on here, and actually it's an absolute pleasure for you to say that this is the first time you've really opened up. So that means a lot to me. I hope it means a lot to the audience members, and it brings more people. I will be putting all of Andy's links in the video. If Andy wants a video for his own channel, he can have it. I'll send it over.
Yep.
I'll discuss that with Andy later. But Andy, you've been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you. You've literally been the first guest, the very first guest to film. Everyone else has bottled it so far.
Oh no! Come on.